After rabies symptoms appear, there's no cure. It's 100% fatal. Recently, I had to take my cats, Calypso, Skyfall, and Mr. Muffin, to the vet for booster shots. They were so unhappy. So today's question is, do indoor cats really need vaccines? We want the best for our cats, but we're inundated with so much information, we don't know what's true and what's not. But we've got to wonder, why vaccinate indoor cats if they never go outside? What are the risks? Do vaccines really cause cancer? Why does this small kitten get the same vaccine as this huge cat? Why should I be paying for shots that my cat might never need? These are valid questions, and today we're going to break down some of the facts, the risks, and the legal implications of vaccinating your cat. I just have to say I'm not a vet, and I'm not giving veterinary advice. My name is Francisco, and on this channel I work with my 3 cats, Calypso, Skyfall, and Mr. Muffin, to help you improve the lives of your cats. Many people assume that if a cat never goes outside, they're safe from disease. But this is simply not true. That's what happened to my Mr. Muffin when he was young. He had never been outside, but he caught a bug and stopped eating and drinking. I had to make him drink with a syringe and feed him a little bit of baby food with my finger until he recovered. Older cats, kittens, already sick cats might not recover so easily. So what did the vet tell me? He said that most likely I brought in a virus into the house on my shoes or by petting an outdoor cat. Now here's the fact. Some of the deadliest feline viruses don't need direct cat-to-cat contact to spread. FHV1 is caused by a feline herpes virus, and it leads to sneezing, eye infections, and can cause lifelong respiratory problems. Now, 80 to 90% of infected cats will carry this virus for life. FCV, on the other hand, causes mouth ulcers, pneumonia, and possibly gum disease. Now, some strains can cause a full body swelling and fatal infections. FPV is the feline parvo, and it causes vomiting, bloody diarrhea, and rapid death. It kills 80 to 90% of infected kittens. It's a virus that's so hardy that in the right conditions, it can survive for over a year on the right surfaces, including your clothes and your shoes. I have a lot of stray cats in my neighborhood. They come up to my porch. They sleep on my outdoor chairs. I don't know if they have any of these things, but they might. So let's talk about the most dangerous virus. Did you know that there's only one vaccine that is regularly required by law? And that's the rabies vaccine. Why? Because after rabies symptoms appear, there's no cure. It's 100% fatal to cats, to dogs, to humans, and to many other animals. So what are the implications for your cats? What if your cat needs emergency boarding or vet care? Did you know that most pet boarding facilities and vet hospitals do not accept unvaccinated cats because they could infect other cats in their facilities? Picture this. You have a sudden emergency and you have to leave town unexpectedly. You need to board your cat at the last minute, but oops, your cat isn't vaccinated. And it can't be vaccinated immediately because immunity takes at least a week to build up. And even if you never planned to board your cat, life happens. The last thing you want in an emergency is to be scrambling to find a last-minute solution. What if your cat gets sick and needs surgery, but their shots aren't up to date? Treatment could be delayed. It could cost your cat's life, but not from the virus. What if your cat escapes, even for an hour? A door gets left open, a screen gets knocked out, fireworks scare your cat and they bolt out the door. Even just 1 hour outside is enough time for your cat to catch a virus from another cat or get into a fight and come home all scratched up. You will wonder, did they get bit by an infected animal? Have they been exposed to rabies? The other day, I drove by a cat that had been hit by a car. It was dead in the middle of the road. So I stopped to move it. I didn't want it to get run over by someone who didn't care. But first, I checked for its rabies tag. It had one, and fortunately I was able to move someone's kitty off the middle of the road. But if it didn't have that tag, I wouldn't have touched it. That's just a reality. Let's say that your cat bites a vet, a groomer, or even a guest in your home. If a cat isn't vaccinated for rabies, they might have to be quarantined. or even in some rare cases euthanized for rabies testing. You could also be legally liable for medical expenses if someone files a claim. But there are risks. I'm not going to say there aren't. Many owners ask, can vaccines cause cancer in cats? The answer is yes. There is a vaccine-related cancer called injection site sarcoma. They are rare but aggressive tumors that form at vaccine sites and are a connective tissue cancer that is thought to be the result of the inflammation reaction that occurs when a vaccine is given. It happens in one about every 10,000 cats. They have developed new vaccines called non-adjuvanted vaccines with safer formulas. Here's the reality check. The risk of deadly disease is far higher than the risk of this type of sarcoma. But here is a vet that disagrees with that opinion.
And if I had a cat that was a strictly indoor cat, so we're having a cat that's just living in the house and never going outside, I would not be vaccinating my cat at all. 0 vaccines. You are not going to bring a virus to your cat. It's going to be another cat that exposed your cat. So you've got a 100% indoor cat, in my opinion, they don't need to be vaccinated.
Although he does not seem to be taking the legal and practical implications of vaccines into account. What about giving the same dose of a vaccine to a kitten as to a large full-grown cat? From what I've read, the difference is that vaccines are not medicine. Medicine acts based on the volume of body that they must influence. Vaccines are developed to trigger an immune response. And it seems that size does not matter when you're doing that. It's your level of previous exposure and immunity that helps determine if you will catch it, not your size. The amount of antigen in vaccines is the minimum amount needed to trigger a response according to their studies. But there is a downside. The smaller your animal, the higher the likelihood of a negative reaction. Vaccine manufacturers only need to show that the vaccine is safe and effective in cats. They don't have to show that it's going to have the same reaction in a large cat and in a small cat. So they are tested on average-sized animals. In 2005, there was a retrospective study evaluating about 3.5 million vaccines given to about 1.2 million dogs. Basically, small dogs had more bad reactions than large dogs. So while a small dose of a vaccine might be safer for a small animal, it might not be effective. What does that really mean for you and your cats? Only give the vaccines that are really needed. Vets break down vaccines into 2 categories: core vaccines that every cat should get, and non-core vaccines, which are optional depending on your cat's lifestyle. The core vaccines are FVRCP, which is also known as the feline distemper complex, FDC. The other core vaccine is rabies, because it's a matter of life and death. Around the world, about 60,000 people die every year from rabies. The most common non-core vaccine is feline leukemia, FELV. It spreads through shared bowls, through grooming, through fighting. Here's a list of 3 other non-core vaccines which are common. So who needs these non-core vaccines? Basically, all cats that go outside and in some way or another are exposed to other cats. The other question is booster shots. The feline VMA vaccination guidelines suggest that indoor cats should be vaccinated or boosted every 3 years with the core vaccines. The problem here is that not many duration of immunity studies have been done. So those studies are studies that tell you how long does a booster or vaccine last. It's possible that vaccines are given too often. They might actually be good for 5 years or even 10 years in some animals, but we don't really know. The vet community and the vaccine manufacturers play it safe and suggest every 3 years. So that's what I know about vaccines. Now you know it too. I wish I had more answers, but I vaccinate my cats. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your views. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share.